After all these Sonic movies, you'd think we'd seen everything, but you'd be surprised by the hidden mistakes and surprises that still pop up. In the Sonic movie, we learn something cool early on. Sonic can throw a ring, think of a place, and it opens a portal. Wherever he's thinking of, that's where he goes. Simple enough. Later, when things get chaotic, Sonic and Tom use this trick again. Sonic sees a truck with Paris painted on it. So they teleported to Paris. That one actually makes sense. He saw the image, thought of the place, and boom! They were there. But then the movie just forgets its own rules. After Paris, they somehow end up at the Great Wall of China. No image, no mention. They just get there. And then they are in the pyramids of Egypt. Again, no setup. Sonic's fast, but unless he's been secretly reading travel magazines, how does he even know these places exist? And here's the biggest question. How did Tom know where to go? Near the end, he throws a ring and lands right on Robotnik's flying machine. But how? He's just a regular guy. There was no hint that he knew where Robotnik even was. It's like the movie made up this cool ring rule, then totally ignored it when it got in the way. Makes you wonder how many other places Sonic could have zipped off to, for no reason at all. This one's super sneaky, but once you notice it, you can't unsee it. In Sonic 3, there's a scene where we see Big Ben, the famous clock tower in London. It looks cool and dramatic like always, but look at the clock face closely. Something's not right. The hands and numbers on the clock are painted black. That might seem fine at first, but the real Big Ben doesn't look like that anymore. In 2021, the whole tower went through a big restoration. Part of that included changing the color of the hands and the numerals. Instead of black, they were painted blue. Not just any blue. It's the same shade they originally had when the tower was first built. So now, in real life, Big Ben has blue clock hands, but Sonic 3 takes place in 2024. That means the movie is showing us a version of Big Ben that's at least 3 years outdated. It might sound like a small mistake, but for a movie set in the future, it totally breaks the timeline. If you're going to show famous landmarks, at least show them the way they actually look. Unless Sonic ran back in time too, and forgot to tell us. Some mistakes in movies are loud and obvious. Others sneak right past you, until someone points them out and then you can't unsee them. That's exactly what happens in one quiet campsite scene in Sonic 3. The Wachowski family is back at their tent, things are calm, and Maddie is wearing a soft pink shirt. Nothing strange. It matches what she wore in earlier scenes, so everything seems in order. But then the camera cuts to another angle, and suddenly, Maddie's no longer in pink. She's now wearing a striped sweater. There's no scene change, no moment showing her getting up to swap clothes, no signs that any time passed. 1 second it's pink, the next it's stripes, and they're still sitting in the same place, in the same moment. Fans of Sonic are used to spotting tiny clues and fast-paced action, so of course they noticed something as simple as a shirt. It's not a Baiji dramatic mistake, but it breaks the continuity, and that's something eagle-eyed viewers don't forget. Sometimes the smallest details say the most, and in this case it said, someone wasn't watching the wardrobe notes closely enough. It's no secret that Robotnik is supposed to be a genius. He builds wild machines, creates complex plans, and always talks like he's the smartest person in the room. But some things he says in the third movie really don't match that image. There's a scene where he asks his grandfather to name his favorite math formula. The answer is Euler's formula, which is a classic in the world of mathematics. But when Gerald Robotnik repeats it, he calls it Euler.
Name the most elegant formula in mathematics. Euler's identity, e to the I times pi plus 1 equals 0.
That might not seem like a big deal, but for a self-proclaimed genius, mispronouncing one of the most famous formulas ever is pretty strange. Especially since it's actually pronounced Euler, and any math lover would know that. But that's not the only thing he gets wrong. Later in the movie, Ivo Robotnik talks about a destruction beam that will wipe out everything in a 250,000-mile radius around Earth. That number might sound dramatic, but it's completely off. Earth's radius is only about 8,000 miles. The number he gave is closer to Earth's diameter, or even the distance to the moon. For someone who's always showing off his brains, these mistakes stand out. They don't match the character's image, and once you notice them, they're hard to ignore. Tails is one of the smartest characters in the Sonic world. He's always inventing things, solving problems, and carrying around a backpack full of high-tech gadgets. That's kind of his thing. So when his backpack disappears out of nowhere, it really stands out. In one scene, we clearly see Tails wearing the backpack. It's right there on his back while he's walking with the others. But in the very next shot, without him stopping or even moving much, it's completely gone. No dropping it. No tossing it aside. Not even a comment about it. 1 second it's there, and the next, it vanishes like magic. This isn't a moment where he changes outfits or does anything big. It's just a regular scene that suddenly looks like something's missing. For a character like Tails, who's known for always being prepared, it feels a little off. And it's not just any small item. It's the whole backpack. Fans with sharp eyes caught this quickly, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Whether it was an editing mistake or something that got lost in the animation process, it's one of those tiny errors that somehow ends up being really obvious. Action scenes in the Sonic movies are always fast, loud, and intense, so it's easy to miss small details. But once you catch this one, it sticks out like a sore thumb. Literally. There's a key moment in the film when Shadow lands a heavy punch right into Tom's chest. It's a powerful hit, the kind that knocks him straight to the ground and sends him to the hospital. So you'd expect the injury to match the impact, right? Maybe a cracked rib, a chest bruise, or something along those lines. But when we see Tom in the hospital later, it's his arm that's in a cast. His chest looks perfectly fine. No bandages, no visible damage, nothing. It almost looks like he broke his arm doing something else entirely. Some fans have tried to explain it by saying the shock from Shadow's punch might have traveled through Tom's body and somehow broken his arm. It's a creative theory, but it still feels like a stretch. More likely, the scene was just a mistake that slipped through editing. It's not the biggest problem in the movie, but for fans who pay close attention, it's definitely confusing. Moments like this show how tricky it is to keep action scenes and injuries perfectly in sync. Sonic and Tom's relationship has always been central to the movies. The big moment in Sonic 2 when Sonic finally calls Tom Dad felt like a breakthrough. It showed that Sonic had fully embraced Tom as his adoptive father and that they were a real family. It was a touching moment, right? But then, in Sonic 3, Sonic suddenly goes back to calling Tom by his name again. No Dad, just Tom. It's a strange shift, especially considering how emotional the previous film's scene was. It's almost like the growth Sonic had in his relationship with Tom was erased. This change makes you wonder, was it a mistake? Did the filmmakers forget that big moment from Sonic 2? Or maybe it was intentional and Sonic is still figuring out what it means to be part of a family. Either way, it feels like a continuity issue that leaves fans scratching their heads. What do you think? Was it a mistake? Or is there a deeper reason behind Sonic's sudden shift in how he sees Tom? It's a little jarring, and it definitely makes us question the flow of Sonic's emotional development. One of the most memorable and hilarious scenes in Sonic 3 is definitely the Robotnik dance sequence. Dr. Ivo Robotnik and his grandfather, Gerald Robotnik, busting a move through a laser-filled security room is pure gold. Their special suits protect them from the lasers, making it one of the film's funniest moments. But hold on, there's a big mistake hidden in plain sight. While the suits protect their bodies, their heads are completely exposed. And yet, despite being directly in the path of lasers, neither of them gets hurt. How does that even work? It makes you wonder, are the lasers programmed to only target the suits? Or are the Robotniks just ridiculously lucky? Either way, it's a clear inconsistency that doesn't quite add up. But let's be honest, despite this strange detail, we can't help but love the scene. It's a blast and adds so much fun to the movie, even if it doesn't make total sense. Sometimes you just have to enjoy the madness, even if a few things don't line up. In Sonic 2, Commander Walters mentions that GUN, Guardian Units of Nations, was formed recently, all because of Sonic's actions in the first movie. This seems pretty straightforward, right? But then comes Sonic 3, and suddenly, we're told that GUN has actually been around for over 50 years. So what's going on here? Did Commander Walters lie about the timeline? Or did the filmmakers forget the details from the previous movie? It doesn't make sense. How can GUN be a new organization one minute, then an old, established one the next? This isn't just a tiny mistake, it's a pretty big contradiction. The history of GUN is a key part of the story, and when the timeline doesn't add up, it leaves fans scratching their heads. Maybe it's an oversight or a slip-up in continuity, but whatever the reason, this inconsistency is hard to ignore. Either way, it's a mystery that adds to the pile of questions fans have about the series. So, what do you think? Did the creators mess up? Or is there some bigger explanation? Well, there you have it. Some seriously shocking Sonic mistakes that flew under the radar. Did you catch all of them? Drop your thoughts in the comments and make sure to hit subscribe for more wild movie moments.